My fiancé said, "I'm not signing a prenup, but I need you to add me to your house deed before the wedding to show trust." I replied, "Let me think about it." Then I had the house appraised. Turns out her lawyer friend was actually her affair partner planning to force a sale. When I confronted them both with the PI photos at her bridal shower, original post, I, 41 male, am sitting in what used to be our bedroom, staring at the engagement ring she left on the dresser. 3 months ago, I thought I was the luckiest man alive. Now I'm just another guy who learned that when someone shows you red flags, you better pay attention. Met Rebecca, 36, 2 years ago, at a charity golf tournament. She was volunteering. I was playing badly. She laughed at my terrible swing. I bought her a drink. Classic meet cute, right? She was everything I thought I wanted. Beautiful, ambitious, worked as a marketing director at a tech startup. We clicked instantly. I'd been divorced for 5 years, had my life together. Good job as a senior engineer, nice house I'd bought after the divorce, decent savings. Rebecca seemed to appreciate that I was stable, mature, had my act together. She'd complain about guys her age being man-children, and loved that I owned my home, had a real career, wasn't playing games. We got engaged last year. Small proposal, just us at her favorite restaurant. She cried, said yes, posted it everywhere. Her friends were thrilled. My friends were cautiously optimistic. My buddy Dennis kept saying, "Seems fast, bro," but I figured he was just bitter from his own divorce. Then 3 months ago, wedding planning in full swing, she drops this bomb over dinner. So I've been thinking, I'm not comfortable signing a prenup. It feels like you're planning for our marriage to fail. I set down my fork. Rebecca, we discussed this. I have the house, retirement accounts, some investments, you have student loans. A prenup protects both of us. But if you really trusted me, you wouldn't need legal documents. Actually, she paused, twirling her wine glass, I think you should add me to the house deed before the wedding, to show you're serious about us being equals. I nearly choked on my water. Add you to the deed? On the house I bought myself? Partners share everything, Tom. If you're not willing to share your life with me, why are we even getting married? The entitlement in her voice was something new, or maybe I just hadn't noticed it before. Let me think about it, I said, trying to stay calm. She smiled, reached over, squeezed my hand. I knew you'd understand. My friend Bradley is a lawyer. He can handle the paperwork, make it super easy. Bradley. She'd mentioned him before. Some lawyer friend from her CrossFit gym who was so helpful with legal advice. Never met the guy, but she brought him up a lot lately. That night, something felt off. Really off. Update 1. The next morning, I called my divorce lawyer, Peterson. Good guy, helped me keep most of my assets in the divorce, explained the situation. Tom, he said slowly, don't add anyone to that deed. In fact, get that house appraised. Now. Why? Because if she's on the deed and you split, she can force a sale. She'd get half the equity even if she never paid a penny toward it. And this Bradley character handling it? Red flag, my friend. I hired an appraiser that week. Told Rebecca I was getting it done for insurance purposes. She seemed weirdly excited about that. The house appraised at $680,000. I'd bought it for $420,000 5 years ago. The market had exploded. That's $260,000 in equity she'd get just by being on the deed. But here's what made my stomach drop. Rebecca knew the exact appraisal amount before I told her. We were having dinner and she goes, "So the house is worth almost $700 now, huh? We could do so much with that equity." I hadn't told her the number. The appraiser hadn't sent the report yet. Only person who knew was the appraiser. How do you know that? She froze for a second. Oh, you mentioned it. No, I didn't. Well, I just assumed. Houses in this area are all going for that much. BS detector going crazy now. I hired a PI the next day. Felt scummy doing it, but that feeling in my gut was screaming. Gave him Rebecca's info, Bradley the lawyer's name, told him to see what he could find. 3 days later, he called. You sitting down? Why? Bradley Morrison isn't just her lawyer friend. They've been meeting at hotels twice a week for the past 4 months. I have photos. They're explicit. My hands went numb. Send them. The photos came through. Rebecca and Bradley at the Marriott, at his apartment, in his car. The timestamps went back to before she started pushing about the prenup, but the PI wasn't done. There's more. I did some digging on Bradley. He's not exactly thriving, drowning in debt actually, had 2 failed real estate ventures, and get this, he specializes in property law, specifically partition sales. What's that? When co-owners force the sale of a property to get their share, it's his specialty. The pieces clicked. She gets on the deed, married or not, she can force me to sell. She gets $340K, splits it with Bradley. They'd been planning this for months. I sat there staring at the photos. My fiancée, the woman I was going to marry in 6 weeks, in bed with another man. A man she was conspiring with to steal my house. The rage was indescribable. But then, clarity. Cold, perfect clarity. Her bridal shower was in 2 weeks, 40 guests, her mom, sisters, friends, everyone. I smiled for the first time in days. Update 2. The next 2 weeks were Oscar-worthy on my part. I played the perfect fiancé, talked about our future, helped with wedding planning, even met with Bradley about the deed transfer. Bradley was exactly what I expected. Spray-tanned, too much cologne, kept calling me buddy and talking about how lucky I was to have Rebecca. The smirk on his face when discussing the deed made me want to punch him. Instead, I smiled and said I needed a few more days to review everything. No rush, buddy, he said, shooting Rebecca a look, but sooner is better, for tax purposes. Rebecca squeezed my arm. Bradley's just looking out for us, honey? Sure, he was. I kept the PI on retainer. Got more photos, videos. They met at Bradley's apartment the day before the bridal shower. The PI got audio of them in Bradley's car. 2 more weeks, and we're set. He's completely clueless. Laughing, I almost feel bad. Almost. He's sweet but so boring. Once we get the house sold, we can finally be together for real. How much are we getting again? At least $300K after the sale. Maybe more if the market keeps going up. God, you're brilliant. I learned from the best, baby. The sound of kissing. I threw up in my office trash can. The bridal shower was at Rebecca's sister Nicole's house. Big backyard, tent rental, the works. I wasn't supposed to be there. Girls only event. But I had a delivery to make. Showed up at 2 p.m. Peak party time. Could hear the laughter from the street. Rebecca's mom, Janet, answered the door. Tom, what are you doing here? This is bad luck. Hi, Janet. I have something important to share with everyone. About the wedding. She looked confused but let me in. The backyard was decorated in white and gold. 40 women, champagne flowing, presents piled high. Rebecca was in the middle, wearing a little tiara that said bride-to-be, opening gifts. She saw me and her face went from surprised to annoyed to fake happy in 3 seconds. Baby, what are you doing here? I walked to the center of the party. Everyone was staring. Ladies, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have something everyone needs to see before the wedding. I pulled out my phone, connected it to Nicole's Bluetooth speaker. She'd given me the password months ago, and hit play on the audio from Bradley's car. Rebecca's voice filled the backyard. I almost feel bad. Almost. He's sweet but so boring. Once we get the house sold, we can finally be together for real. The silence was deafening. Rebecca's face went white, then red. That's not what it sounds like. I held up the printed photos. Rebecca and Bradley at the hotel. Made sure her mom got a good look. It's exactly what it sounds like. You've been having an affair with Bradley for 4 months. You two planned to get me to add you to my house deed, then force a sale, split the money and run off together. Gasps. Someone dropped a champagne glass. Janet started crying. Rebecca, tell him he's wrong. Rebecca's mask finally slipped. Pure rage. You hired someone to follow me? You psychopath. That's illegal. Actually, it's not. And neither is recording 2 people conspiring to commit fraud in a public parking lot. She stood up, wobbling in her heels. You can't prove anything. Bradley is just a friend helping with legal matters. Right, friends who meet at the Marriott every Tuesday and Thursday. Friends who discuss stealing $300 from me. Her sister Nicole looked disgusted. Becca, what the hell? Shut up, Nicole. You wouldn't understand. Tom's loaded. He can afford it. That house is half mine anyway. I've been living there. For 8 months, I said calmly. Paying 0 rent, 0 utilities, contributing nothing while planning to rob me. Her cousin stood up. I think you should leave, Tom. I'm going. But first, I pulled out a manila envelope, handed it to Rebecca. You've been served. Eviction notice. You have 30 days to get out of my house. Your belongings are already packed. Dennis and Mike are loading them into a truck as we speak. You can pick them up at the storage unit on Riverside. First month's paid. After that, it's on you. She lunged at me. You can't kick me out. We're engaged. Her mom and sister had to hold her back. Not anymore, I said, staying calm. The engagement's off, obviously. The wedding venue, vendors, everything's been canceled. I sent emails an hour ago. Oh, and Bradley's wife got copies of everything too. Figured she should know what her husband's been up to. That stopped Rebecca cold. Bradley's wife? Melissa, lovely woman, pregnant with their second kid. She's filing for divorce Monday, probably taking him for everything he's worth, which isn't much according to my lawyer. Rebecca collapsed into a chair. The rage was gone. Just shock now. Update 3. Left the bridal shower to the sound of chaos. Rebecca screaming, her mom trying to calm her down, guests fleeing like the place was on fire. Nicole texted me later that night. Holy hell, Tom. I'm so sorry. I had no idea. Not your fault. She's losing it. Broke a bunch of dishes, blamed everyone but herself. Mom's devastated. Sorry this ruined your party. Are you kidding? This was the most excitement we've had in years. Also, you're a legend. Got home to find Rebecca had tried to break in. Scratches all around the lock. Doorbell camera caught her kicking the door and screaming. Sent that footage to my lawyer too. Bradley started blowing up my phone. Threats about lawsuits, defamation, harassment. My lawyer shut that down quick with a cease and desist letter. Then Bradley's wife Melissa called me. Tom, I wanted to thank you. For ruining your marriage? She laughed bitterly. For saving me years of my life? I suspected something but could never prove it. He's been moving money around, hiding assets. Now I know why. I'm sorry you're going through this. Don't be. I'm taking the house, the car, and full custody. My lawyer says with the evidence you provided, Bradley's screwed. Small comfort, I guess. Rebecca tried everything over the next week. Showed up at my work crying, security removed her, had her mom call begging me to reconsider. Janet was nice, but I held firm. Sent a fake suicide threat text. I called 911 for a wellness check. She was fine, just pissed. Posted on social media about her abusive ex. I posted the hotel photos in response. She deleted everything. Threatened to claim I assaulted her. My lawyer reminded her about the consequences of false police reports. Then came the extinction burst. Sorry, I know that term is overused, but that's exactly what this was. Update 4. 2 weeks after the shower, I'm at work when building security calls. Mr. Thompson? There's a situation in the parking garage. I knew before I even got down there. My truck was destroyed. Windows smashed, tires slashed, asshole keyed into every panel. Rebecca standing there with a baseball bat, crying and screaming. You ruined my life. Bradley won't even talk to me. His wife is divorcing him. My family thinks I'm trash. This is your fault. Security already had the cops on the way. I just stood there recording on my phone. Rebecca, you're on camera destroying my property. I don't care. You destroyed my life. You destroyed your own life. You chose to cheat. You chose to try to steal from me. These are consequences. She swung the bat at me. I stepped back. She missed, fell on her face. Cops showed up right then. Beautiful timing. They arrested her on the spot. Vandalism, attempted assault with a deadly weapon. The damage to my truck was over $12,000. Felony territory. Her mom bailed her out the next day, but the damage was done. Photos of her in cuffs went viral in our social circle. Bradley had already thrown her under the bus, telling everyone she seduced him. And it was all her idea. Real class act, that guy. The best part? My insurance covered the truck damage, and they're going after Rebecca for the full amount plus legal fees. But wait, there's more. Last week, Rebecca's former employer reached out. Turns out she'd been using her company credit card for her hotel meets with Bradley. Thousands in personal charges. They're pressing charges for embezzlement. Her lawyer, not Bradley, he's too busy with his own divorce, reached out about a plea deal. She'll plead guilty to the vandalism, pay restitution, do community service if I don't pursue additional civil charges. I agreed, but with conditions. Full restraining order, permanent. She admits in writing to the affair and the attempted fraud. She pays for my truck damage in full. She never contacts me or comes within 500 feet of my property. Her lawyer said she had no choice but to accept. Final update. It's been 3 months since the bridal shower bomb drop. Time for the final update on this disaster. Rebecca took the plea deal. 6 months probation, 200 hours of community service, full restitution for my truck. The restraining order is permanent. She had to write a letter admitting to everything, the affair, the fraud attempt, all of it. My lawyer has it in case she ever tries anything again. Bradley's life imploded. His wife, Melissa, took him to the cleaners. She got the house, both cars, full custody of the kids, and alimony. His law practice tanked when word got out about the fraud attempt. Last I heard, he was living in a studio apartment and working document review for $25 an hour. Karma's a beautiful thing. Rebecca's working at a call center now. Her marketing career is toast. Turns out embezzling from your employer makes you unhireable in that field. She's living with her parents. Janet calls occasionally to apologize. I tell her it's not her fault, but I can hear the disappointment in her voice when she talks about Rebecca. Nicole and I actually became friends through this. She checks in every couple weeks, says Rebecca still blames everyone but herself. Still thinks I overreacted and ruined her life over a mistake. No accountability whatsoever. Found out some interesting backstory from Nicole. This wasn't Rebecca's first rodeo. She'd done something similar with an ex 5 years ago. Moved in with him, tried to get him to co-sign on a condo, dumped him when he refused. He dodged a bullet. Wish he'd warned me. The wedding vendors were cool about the cancellations. Most gave partial refunds. Lost about $8,000 total on deposits, but considering what could have happened, I'll take that loss. As for me, I'm good. Better than good, actually. Got a promotion at work. Turns out avoiding a catastrophic marriage is great for productivity. Started seeing someone new. Amy, a fellow engineer who owns her own house and actually insisted on a prenup when I jokingly brought it up on our 3rd date. We're taking it slow, but it's nice being with someone who has their own life together. The house is all mine, no complications. Actually refinanced last month at a better rate. That equity Rebecca wanted so badly, using it to renovate the kitchen. Granite countertops, new appliances, the works. My buddy Dennis, he framed the eviction notice I served Rebecca. It's hanging in his garage with a plaque that says, "Trust your gut, 2024. He brings every new girlfriend by to see it and tell the story. I've become a cautionary tale and a legend simultaneously. Rebecca tried reaching out once through a mutual friend last month, wanted to apologize and get closure. I declined. She made her choices, I made mine. Some bridges aren't meant to be rebuilt. They're meant to stay burned as reminders. Looking back, the red flags were there. How quickly she pushed to move in. How she never wanted to discuss finances but wanted access to mine. How she always had expensive taste but never wanted to contribute. How this Bradley guy suddenly appeared once marriage was on the table. How she went from "I love you" to "give me half your house" in record time. Lessons learned. 1. Trust your gut, it's usually right. 2. If someone refuses a prenup, run. 3. If they want to be added to assets they didn't help acquire, run faster. 4. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. 5. PIs are worth every penny. 6. Always have security cameras. 7. Document everything. To anyone reading this going through something similar, you're not crazy. Your concerns are valid. Don't let anyone gaslight you into ignoring red flags. And when someone tries to steal from you while sleeping with someone else, let them face every consequence coming their way. No regrets, no looking back, just forward. Thanks for following this insane journey, Reddit. May your partners be faithful and your assets stay protected. Tom out.